mean, I gained over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube and I completely walked away from the platform. I feel like the positives of content creation are heavily highlighted, but there are a lot of cons that can come with this that a lot of people overlook. It can be an amazing experience if done properly, but if you don't approach it in a certain way, it can also be the beginning of self-destruction. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kieara Celina, and on this channel we talk about content creation, beauty, lifestyle, and nursing. It has been so long since I've said that, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a little bit of a traitor. But before y'all chew me up, let me explain. As some of you guys may have noticed, I took a bit of a hiatus from YouTube. A lot of you guys have DM'd me, emailed me even, just checking up on me and making sure that I am okay. Because I used to post pretty consistently on YouTube, so to just cold turkey walk away from the platform was a little bit crazy, I won't lie. And to be honest, I've been wanting to come back to YouTube for so long now, but I've been feeling so many different emotions, feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, feeling a little bit like I was ungrateful for growing a community and kind of just walking away from the community without really explaining myself. I remember watching videos like this from content creators years ago and just thinking that they were spoiled brats. But honestly, I feel like the world of content creation and influencing is one that is greatly misunderstood. Of course, being an influencer or being a content creator is an amazing job if you have a good and healthy balance, but there are a lot of downsides as well if you don't approach it properly. And I kind of just want to talk about my personal experience, why I walked away, and yeah. So I've been on YouTube for about 10 years now. A lot of people don't know this because they think that this page is my one and only page, but I have had multiple pages on YouTube. I tried to have a hair page about 10 years ago. I had a whole French channel. I had a singing channel. I've had a bunch of different channels, and I always knew that I was a creative. I was a dancer ever since I was a little girl. My mom had me in ballet. From there, I did jazz ballet all the way up into my early adult years. I love being on camera. I love talking a lot. So I always knew that this was something that I wanted to do and that fit right into my personality pretty much. But I really started taking YouTube seriously when I got into nursing school. For those of you who have been riding with me ever since 2018 when I actually created this channel, you guys would have seen me document my whole journey through nursing school into becoming a nurse, working different jobs as a nurse, and I really enjoyed what I was doing at the time because I had this deep love for nursing. I was having a lot of fun in nursing school, and I was having a lot of fun documenting my journey. Eventually, people started asking me a little bit more about my skin, and so I created a skincare video which performed way better than any other video had ever performed in like the 2 years that I had been on this channel. And so, like most people would, I started creating more and more of that. My channel quickly grew. I think I had about 25 or 27,000 followers in the year of July 2020. By December 2020, I had 40,000, and then by February 2021, I had 100,000 subscribers. So although I was on YouTube for a few years, once I really buckled down and started being a little bit more consistent and started posting a bit more of what my audience was requesting, I saw a major trajectory in the growth of my channel. To be honest, my goal was like 10,000 subscribers. So once I got past that, that was a little bit crazy, but to imagine myself at 100 or 200,000 subscribers was a thought that was extremely surreal for me at a certain point. Now, like most creators, especially if you're somebody who genuinely likes content creation, it can be really, really fun in the beginning. So when I started, I was having so much fun. I loved editing, I loved posting, I loved the fact that I was adding value, that I was giving information that people found valuable, and it was just really enjoyable for me until it became business. When it was just a hobby and I wasn't really making any money off of it or wasn't making much money from it, I didn't necessarily see it as an obligation. But as I grew and started making more income, I started realizing that the expenses started piling up.
A lot of expenses are overlooked when it comes to content creation, but some of them include equipment, delegation, such as getting an assistant or a video editor just for some extra hands, an accountant, taxes, and so many more.
And once it went from being a hobby to more of a responsibility, it kind of became more of a weight on my shoulder than it was a passion. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made when it comes to YouTube is completely neglecting the things that I was passionate about and solely focusing on what people were requesting from me, because it became more about other people than it was about me. And to be honest, I'm not gonna sit here and act like skincare isn't something that I'm passionate about. My mom is a beautician. She's been a beautician for 30 years, so that's kind of an environment that I grew up in and that I grew to love. But it wasn't the only thing that I liked. And I started noticing that when it came to skincare, everybody was super zoned into my skincare content, but then whenever I posted content about the other things that I was interested in, maybe vlogs, or even when I started posting more content about nursing, I started noticing that my views completely decreased. The performance of my videos really started getting to my head. One, because I knew my performance was decreasing because I wasn't being as consistent as I once was. But I also knew that's because I was starting to lose my love for content creation. So every time I started making a YouTube video, it started feeling like I was forcing myself to do one instead of me just, hopping on camera and creating a video because I love what I was doing. At the time, I had walked away from nursing a little bit, and I kind of put nursing on the back burner because I was earning income from content creation, and I was already deep into nursing at this point, so that whole novice new grad nurse love that I had for nursing was definitely starting to drift away. I was starting to see how completely toxic the field was and how much it was depleting me. So having the blessing of being able to focus on content as a source of income was a good thing, but then at the same time I felt like I left one hole and kind of just jumped right into another one. And I feel like people could see that in my content. And because of that, and also the inconsistency that came with that, I suffered the consequence. This also meant that whenever I was negotiating rates for a potential collaboration with a brand, they were always downplaying me when it came to how much they wanted to pay me because they were fixated on the amount of views that I was getting, which from a business perspective, I totally understand because you want to make sure that you're getting a return on your investment. But then also for me, because I take pride in creating high quality content, it takes me a lot of time to sit down and edit a video the way I want it to be edited sometimes. So they don't really consider the time and the effort that goes into creating the content that they want you to create. I just started feeling extremely burnt out, and for my own sake and for my own well-being, I just had to take a break and walk away. So what have I been doing? This is a question that I've gotten a lot as well. There has been so much that has happened over the past year and a half or so. You guys saw that I had moved from Montreal to Ottawa. I spoke to you guys about the whole crazy stalker experience that had happened to me. If you guys are interested in knowing more about that story, I will leave that video up here. So I decided to move to another place, which was my dream loft. It was an amazing, beautiful, gorgeous place. I will leave that tour somewhere up here. And then from there, I moved over to Vancouver, where I lived for about a year. So the year that I spent living in Vancouver was kind of the year that I took a hiatus from YouTube and wasn't really posting. Maybe I'll post some footage of what my apartment building kind of looked like. I didn't really take many shots of my apartment itself, but I also really, really loved that apartment. I had a sick view, but I decided that I just wanted my privacy a little bit, and I didn't want to do a tour on that apartment or anything at all. Next tour I'm gonna be doing will be in my house. But this is where my hiatus really got good. So I ended up discovering this thing called UGC maybe 6 months into my hiatus, and I fixated on it. For those of you who don't know what UGC is, it is similar to influencing, except that when I work with a brand as an influencer, they are paying me to promote their product on my own channel or page. Whereas when you work with a brand as a UGC content creator, you are basically creating a video for them and they are using it on their own social media platform. So you basically create a short form video of maybe 15 seconds to a minute maximum. They send you the script, you edit it, you send it over to the brand, and they either use it for ads or they promote it on their Instagram, their TikTok, whatever. One of the things that I loved about UGC was that my follower count didn't matter. It's really more about your ability to create good content versus your subscriber count or the amount of views that you get as an influencer. And I knew that me having an audience and a community here on YouTube already would definitely help me land more brand deals, but it was never the forefront of my approach. I mentioned it in my portfolio, but it was never the main focus whenever I would pitch to a brand or communicate with a brand. They kind of just figured it out as they got to know me. And so as I started doing that, I started posting a lot on my UGC Instagram account, which I'm not really active on anymore, and my TikTok, which has grown significantly definitely. I grew such a loving and solid community of supporters over on TikTok, and that's kind of where my focus has been, on kind of just teaching people how to become content creators without all the followers. Like I said before, having all the followers is a great thing, but when you're trying to work as an influencer and you have a lot of followers but your views aren't matching up like mine's were, because I was kind of just all over the place, I wasn't consistent, so my followers never really knew when to tune in to watch me. Working and having a consistent income for yourself becomes a little bit more complicated, whereas as a UGC content creator, I didn't have to post on YouTube. I didn't even have to post on my own social media platforms at all, but I was still earning a consistent amount of money, sometimes just as much as I was earning on YouTube during its peak times. And that's what I teach over on my TikTok, so if that's something that interests you, definitely follow me on there. I'm gonna leave it down in the description, but I just wanted to come on here and kind of have this conversation with you guys before I kind of shift into that, because I didn't want you guys to be confused. But I also did create an introduction video to UGC, which I already posted on this channel, so if you guys are interested in seeing that, you guys can click up here if you guys want to check that out. So now that I found UGC, and UGC kind of took my mind off of the numbers because I've been able to find that security again, I've kind of gotten back into my flow, my creative flow. I'm having fun with it again. It's starting to feel a little bit like how it used to feel when I had first started. It's exciting again, and that's kind of what pushed me back onto YouTube. So you guys are gonna be seeing some skincare content. You guys are gonna be seeing a lot of content creation videos. So if becoming a content creator is something that you're interested in, but you've been struggling to grow on your social media platforms, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to make money as a content creator, how to work with brands, get free Airbnb and hotel stays. I'll leave some images of some hotels and Airbnbs that I've gotten to stay at for free because of UGC. I'm going to be teaching you guys all of this on this channel, but if you guys want to get ahead of the curve and you guys want to see some content about it now, then I have tons of content about that on TikTok that you guys can go check out. Once again, go check that down below. So I really hope you guys are as happy to see me as I am to see you guys. I know some of you guys may not necessarily resonate with this, but my true passion, and I've discovered this over the years, is content creation. I love teaching. That's literally what I've done on this channel throughout its entire existence. Teaching has always been my thing, and I love adding value. So you're still gonna be seeing some skincare, but the main focus is gonna be more about the vlogs and the content creation, since that is what I enjoy doing, and I'm just hoping that those who also enjoy that kind of content will come and we can build a whole new community. If you are already subscribed and you intend on staying subscribed, I just want to thank you so much for all of your support over the years. You guys have shown me that I can literally do anything that I put my mind to, and I'm so grateful to you. But for those of you who no longer resonate with this channel, I know you guys saw that I changed my name. I'm no longer Nurse Key. I'm just me. I'm just Kieara Celina. But for those of you who were here mainly for the nursing or mainly for the skincare and who do not want to stick around, I still do thank you for being here for the time that you were here, and I cannot wait to see where we go from here. I have so much in store, and I'm just really happy to be back. If you guys are here from my TikTok, let me know down below. If you're an oldie but goodie subscriber and you intend on sticking around, also let me know down below. These are the kind of things that are gonna keep me motivated and keep me going, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next one. Bye.